Hey everybody, welcome back to Exotic Car Hacks, and I know you're excited today because we are about to take my brand new RS6 for a ride and talk about why I just bought what I believe to be the hottest wagon in the country and why this incredible 600 horsepower car is just insane. But first, take a look at my 992 Turbo S, which you can clearly see, which is now fitted in with these new two-piece HREs, which are insane, just incredibly good looking. Finally, after all this time, the Porsche does not look boring and no longer makes me feel poor. And if you don't know what that means, then you don't follow me on Instagram, so make sure you do that. But today we are here to talk about my new RS6 wagon. We'll call it the pussy wagon at that. But it is an incredible, very loaded $140,000 wagon with over $30,000 in modifications. So let's first go for a drive, and we're gonna do this review backwards, and I'm gonna show you the car after we get in. So come on, get in it. So this is my brand new RS6 wagon. Now it's new to me, I bought this car used. I've been wanting one of these things forever because I wanted to know what the hype was about. And I've always been a big fan of Audi products. Hint, I've always been told that the URS and the Audi platform share so much in common. I thought it made sense to check this out, and since I didn't have a wagon, I probably will never have another wagon. I thought this was the closest and coolest wagon I could buy, so I went and bought the coolest version of it I could find with one of the highest MSRP possible at $140,000 plus another $30,000 in mods. So I bought this from a guy in Jersey who basically had a kit done to it, some wheels and stuff, and we're gonna check that out. But let's talk about the car real quick, because this car is not stock. It has downpipes, a tune, and some suspension work. But right away, as the car itself stands, I was stunned and superbly impressed about the quality of this car. I just never imagined Audi stepping up that much. So first off, the climate interface is identical to an URS. Same exact look, same exact feel, same touch, same buttons in the same places. Everything makes sense. But outside of that, I mean, the interface here is very Porsche and URS-like. Again, same exact interfaces. So you're basically in a four-door wagon URS on the inside. This interface, however, looks completely different with a ton of things you can change in it. And also this RS mode, which makes everything sound more exciting and interesting. You hear it all like growling. Super cool. And then you have your revs, you have your power, your torque and stuff. And the more you press it, the more stuff gets turned off, like stability control and so on and so forth. And then it comes back to itself. So super nice. Button, fit and finish, incredibly high, incredibly usable phone charger in here. Glove compartment, lots of room. Seats are incredibly comfortable. Double sunroof on top. B&O sound system, you know, just amazing. Like, really shocked at how good this is. Like, really shocked. All right, so let's go for a drive and see what this RS6 is all about. But we're gonna do it with this window down so you can hear it better. And then we're gonna go see how cool this car really looks all modded. But I tell you, I've never been this surprised about a car in my life. So this has really caught me off guard of how incredible this is. And we're gonna go in RS mode because it's a lot more fun. And you also get that deep growl, you hear it? And then we make sure you have a drive select here, which we put down here to make sure we're in dynamic, so it's even more fuck you. And now listen to this, like it's like just amazing, like unbelievable. The noise, the acceleration, the feel, and more importantly, the feeling of driving is so good. Like it's just so good. And it just works so well. Like you would think all these things don't work, but they really work. Like it just comes together so effortlessly, and it makes you feel good while driving it, which is something you don't hear or see that often, which is interesting. But it's just good to know. And I'm gonna pull over here so you can actually see what it's like, and then we'll go for a little bit of a further drive. But I wanted to show you because I wanted some place where there was a lot of room. There wasn't that much around my office. But let's take a look here before we get out of the car. I want to point out a few things that, like the camera stuff, all that tech shit, it's perfect. It's like the URS. Like all these cars are getting equally perfect, so it's hard to find fault in anything that doesn't work. But there are faults in the car functionality from a day-to-day standpoint, because I've lived with this car now for about a week and a half. I've driven it, I haven't even washed it, so it's kind of dirty because I've just been trying to get accustomed to having one. And there is a few things that don't float well with the rest of the epicness. The first one is the fact that all of this crap everywhere is basically this weird texture stuff instead of Alcantara. And I think once you're in this territory of 150 grand for a wagon, especially an Audi, so much carbon fiber, so much perfection, and yet you didn't think that true. So someone's got to pay 5 grand to a third-party shop to basically tear it down and have it in Alcantara. That's kind of weird to me. Like, it's just not like of the caliber you'd expect. And the only other thing that's incredibly annoying about the car, and it's really the only thing, which is hard to say that I've had reviews like this about anything except the new 911 Turbo S, which this is way better, and I'm going to tell you why, but this shifter is incredibly annoying. I mean, it is fucking annoying. And I'm telling you why it's annoying, because you have to hold this button while you move it, and like the feeling of it and the button is really fucking annoying. And I know it may sound small, and you might be like, well, who cares? It's just a shifter. The problem is you live with the shifter every fucking day. Like, you have to use this every day. And it's just really annoying. Like, it just doesn't flow. Like, design it flows, but like the feeling of it and the using it and how little play it has just doesn't work for me. Like, why? No idea. It's one of these pet peeves, but again, the difference between an owner and someone just reviewing the car, they may not notice because they haven't had time to play with it over weeks, going in reverse, parking, coming back, and so on and so forth. So for that reason, it doesn't look that exciting, you know, and it looks great, it looks fine, but for me, the play doesn't work. And then the other thing I can't figure out where it's shit is why none of these 12V ports have some level of trickle charger to them that allows me to charge the fucking battery. It's really annoying too, because it's not in the trunk, it's not here, nothing's active, so you can't trickle charge the car. And that's really fucking annoying too, because I don't drive my cars that much, and after I'm bored driving them, then I'll let them sit, and I want to trickle charge it, and I can't. So that bothers me. But outside of that, it's really fucking great. Like, I mean, it is unbelievably good. From the in and out, and we're gonna go outside and I'm gonna show you what makes this that good. So design-wise, it's really pretty. This car is as loaded as they come, like I said, with $140,000 MSRP. It has the diamond black paint with the sparkles in it. It has a stealth PPF done through the car to create the matte effect, but you can still see the flake through the PPF, so beautiful. Incredibly well done, including the carbon trim around, the black optics package. So it has a lot of features, and it's really, really well done. You'll notice even that one of the best parts about the car is the sequence of the lights turning on and turning off, which I found to be amazing, and I want to show you this. So you see, it has the little things, but look, they come in, and it's really cool. Like, it's really, really cool. Like, I really enjoy watching it. Look, it's like so cool. Then you lock it, and then you unlock it. Look at that. It's like so excitingly cool. I think it's the small stuff like this that makes a really big difference. But on the surface here, some of the things you'll notice is the body kit that's been added to the car basically is gloss black and embodies the carbon, which really does a beautiful job of coming together. And the wheels are just beautiful with the stepped lip and this mesh design. And then the little rivets in red, that wouldn't have been something I would have personally done. I like the more subtle, more black, all murdered out look, but it works, and it works well, which is why I'm kind of going to leave it. But you see the body kit continues here, and the car is really well loaded with all carbon options. So the body kit continues here, it goes ahead and continues to the back, and again warps the carbon. Looks fantastic all around. I think these are the small details that make a big difference when modifying a car. The car's been lowered on a module, so you can actually raise it not only from inside the car, but also on your phone, which is really cool. But outside of that, it just holds a tune and downpipes to give it that growl like we heard earlier. So design-wise, the wagon, if you like wagons, is a 10. I recently drove an E63 Estate, you know, the wagon for the E63, and it was completely shit. This is technologically advanced. This drives incredibly smooth, incredibly fast, and I would argue that it is one of the best looking wagons I have ever seen. I mean, just look at it, it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful inside out. There's nothing negative to talk about this, from the stance to the car, and it just fucks really hard. Like, it just fucks. I mean, if this car had a license plate that it came from the factory, it would be DTF. You know, like, this car just fucks in every way possible, and it's just spectacular all around. So other things that make the car significantly better than just other cars in general is, I want you to watch this. You know, you have your soft closed doors just like any other luxury sedan. You have incredible seats, you have all your features. It drives great, it doesn't rattle, nothing really is weak about it. It stands really strong, and it again proves that a very trendy car can be a quality product. Now, you can see that Audi, in this particular optioned car, because of the high MSRP, has ceramic brakes, which are optional, but it's very much a plus, because once you do custom wheels, you don't get the brake dust, and you also get the better performance. Now, I'm not going to track this, so I don't worry about damaging ceramic brakes or anything, but this car is absolutely amazing inside out. If you're going to buy an RS6, there are a few things you need to know, because I had to educate myself on this market because it wasn't something that I naturally bought a lot of. So I was like, hey, let me learn more about it. So the first thing you need to know is that higher MSRP cars typically do better for resale, because most buyers end up wanting more of these, you know, like higher end cars versus these lower end 120, 125K MSRP cars. Most of these are gonna sell somewhere around sticker, or like used with like, you know, some miles on them, like 2,000-3,000 miles, and some of these are going to be 20, 30K over sticker if they are lower end stickers and really good colors or options, etc. And I think people that have bought these understand they're hard to get. You can't just walk in and buy one. For that reason, they're going to cost some money. But other things you should also know about them, and we're gonna sit here in the shade for a second while we talk. So as you can see, the seat is all the way back here, and you still have a lot of room. And again, here you have your AC control, no different than our Lamborghini Urus again, which basically makes this the Urus wagon version of an Urus. But everything from these little, you know, buttons to everything else just works flawlessly. Like, it just works really well. I don't understand why in this day and age you still need one of these things. I think it's just stupid. I never understood that concept for cars anyways. You just tint the windows if you want it to be darker. But in general, you can really see that this is truly an exquisite car all around. I mean, and again, this hasn't been cleaned, so I apologize for a bit dirty, but take a look at just the quality of carbon fiber, metal integration with Alcantara, leatherette, and then leather here. It just works so flawlessly. Audi really thought this out, because this door just shows you the basics for what manufacturers don't think about. You have a quality button, right? You have a plastic piece here where a lot of times you're gonna use, so it's not gonna get damaged as much. You have beautiful leather that follows the line, carbon fiber, like leather here with the stitching to get your attention, and everything in between is basically this cheap plastic leatherette shit, which is okay, because it just, I don't understand why we always have to watch peasants drive by with the worst fucking cars, and yet they have to be the loudest on the road. I just don't understand that. Don't be that guy. Anyways, back to this. So the point is, this door basically justifies everything that is Audi, which is the thought out process of how this car comes together. It's fit and finish and materials that you don't expect to work together, but it just works flawlessly. And no different than the way this car has been modded to follow that exact same line of thinking, from the side skirt here having two different, you know, from the gloss black to the matte black to the carbon fiber in between. It is just brilliant. So I don't think we'll really see a better wagon anywhere for under 200K, which is why I think this is a very special car. And I also think part of the reason why you're not going to see these cars really going for a lot less. I don't think they're depreciating for that exact same reason. It's very specific acquired taste, but it just works so flawlessly that even that people that don't love wagons would typically love this wagon. And this is what really works with this car, which is why it's one of my favorite daily drivers. And I've been using this in conjunction with my Urus and going back and forth, which literally feels like the same car, higher and lower, but I can't recommend it enough. So if you've been looking for a daily driver or looking for alternatives like the S63 and larger sedans like the E63S, etc., this should be a car you put on your list, because it's ultimately the same range of money, but it's significantly better, and I think it just does so much more aesthetically. It's so much more pleasing to drive, and with very few mods, as you can see here, it's actually cheap to mod an Audi. Like this lip here was only $1,200 when I looked it up. A lip similar to this on a higher end exotic would be like $10,000 or $8,000. So it gives you great context about, like my Novitec lip, for example, for my 812 GTS, which we saw, that by itself was like $6 grand. So here you have, again, quality parts, quality mods that can be done for really not that much money. and it's honestly very well put together. So Audi gets my thumbs up on this as probably the greatest car they've made. I thought the R8 was fantastic too, for those of you that have followed me for a while, compared to the Huracan. I think this is an incredible alternative to a $300,000 Urus for half the price, and I think it's well worth it. So if you've been looking at adding an Urus to your stable, then perhaps consider the RS6 as its little cousin, because it is ultimately the exact same thing with a hatchback, and it looks just as cool. Now, even bonus points, anywhere you go will get you just as much head in this than you would in an Urus, because there is, yeah, let me just not go into that. Anyways, subscribe, turn on notifications, and of course, like the video or dislike it because you hate me. Either ways doesn't really bother me. But make sure you definitely take the training in the comments so that you can go ahead and learn how to get in and out of exotics or luxury cars without losing any money. Now, again, remember, you don't have to drive the car you drive. You choose to drive what you drive, because after you learn what I'm going to teach you, you're going to realize you should have done it a long time ago. So there you have it. I'll catch you on the next episode of Exotic Car Hacks. Stay rich.